Hi traders, hope you're doing well. Welcome to my video on the Perceptrader AI EA for the MT4 and MT5 trading platforms. So this is a fully automated trading robot that has been developed by Valerie Trading, who have a vast range of expert advisors, all with real live verified accounts that you can see by clicking the link in the description below. Okay, they have free trials for all of their expert advisors, and they have been rated some of the top EAs on the MQL platform for many years now. Okay, so this is the Perceptrader AI EA. This is one of the latest trading robots they have developed and one of the most impressive from my perspective. Okay, you can see here I have the MT4 platform open. I've just run a test using the EA, which you can see there, a nice upwards graph. I'm just going to run through what the EA does and different ways in which you can test it. Okay, so this is the strategy tester for MT4. I've got the Perceptrader AI EA selected there and one of the recommended symbols. The developer recommends the following currency pairs, which are the New Zealand dollar, US dollar, Canadian dollar, Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar, and the pound Swiss franc. Okay, and the time frame recommended is 5 minutes. I think it's worth mentioning as well that this EA does use a grid and martingale style strategy, so make sure you're fully aware of how they work before you use this type of EA. It basically means that the EA can create a grid. Okay, so it will open multiple orders to try and recover from losing orders, and it can also increase the lot size to do this. You can see in this graph here when there's a dip, okay, but then the equity curve pops back up is when there was drawdown, but then the EA opened more positions, okay, and a martingale grid strategy to cover the losses, which did eventually close out for profit. Okay, that can increase drawdowns. However, there are various settings that you can adjust in the EA in terms of the risk to limit the drawdown to a level that you feel comfortable with. And even though it does use a grid and martingale strategy, I still found it to produce really good results based on my testing and also the verified results that they've had running for quite a long time now. Okay, so you have all the settings here that you can adjust. As you can see, lots and lots of options there. I'm really impressed that they've made more or less everything available, from the news filter to the money management, the strategy, trading days, trading hours. You can choose if you want to use a fixed risk, if you want to use fixed lots. It's important as well to mention that even though this is a grid and martingale strategy, it doesn't require large lot sizes to perform well. Okay, because it does trade quite frequently. And the fact that there are multiple currency pairs that it can run on means that there's always ample trading opportunities. Okay, so this is the test you see here is what I've just run on the US dollar, Canadian dollar. Okay, I'm going to run another test now on another recommended pair. So let's have a look. New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar, recommended, no, New Zealand dollar, US dollar we want. So there. So we'll just run this one on the medium risk setting. I'm using every tick testing. Okay, this uses intrabar prices and is accurate as you can get in the MT4 strategy tester without using a third-party testing software. If you do want to experiment, I do recommend using a third-party software to implement within MetaTrader 4, such as Bert's Tick Data Suite. Okay, this will allow you to test with real variable spreads, commissions, slippage, and various other things that can impact a trading strategy. And it will give you 99% modeling quality, whereas the MT4 strategy tester is limited to 90% by default. Nonetheless, we can still get a rough idea of historical performance, and the developer does have 20 odd years of historical data results you can check over. So we'll let this test run. Okay, this is for the past 4 to 5 years. 5-minute charts as recommended by the developer, New Zealand dollar, US dollar. You can experiment as well. if you have the knowledge, you can run an optimization on other trading instruments and different time frames, see if you can find some settings that perhaps work for you. Okay, otherwise, if you don't have the knowledge or the skills to do so, it doesn't matter. You can just attach the robot to your charts as it is. Just make sure you change the risk or lot size to something you feel comfortable with at a minimum. Okay, so you can see there, nice upwards graph, had a few dips, as I mentioned, based on the strategy that's used, but we still came out in a good amount of profit. I mean, over 400 trades, so it's a good database to gauge performance. That's 2 currency pairs tested, both held up well. Just keep in mind, if you do run multiple currency pairs, these drawdowns, if they both have drawdowns, or if you're trading 2, 3, 4, if they all have drawdowns at the same time, this drawdown can be greater, but you do have the maximum risk set in. You can adjust accordingly. Okay, so that's 2 pairs tested of the recommended 6 currency pairs. The other ones perform similar. I've run through tests of each, and they all produce similar graphs such as this. You can test for yourself. There are free trials available for this EA, which will allow you to test. Use the link in the description, and you can just download this and the other EAs that the developer has, as well as see verified results and back tests for 20 plus years as well. Or you can just copy what I've done there and do your own back tests. Okay, if you go to the expert properties, here you will see all the EA settings, as I said, which you can choose from money management, so on and so forth. You can optimize as well. Okay, so, for example, you can allow hedging. If you check that box, it will test true or false for allow hedging, depending, of course, on if your broker allows hedging or not. Allow to buy and sell, so you can optimize buy and sell, buy only or sell only. So an optimization will just run a combination of the various settings or possibilities based on the ones that you select. Okay. So what else? You can trade in days, as I said, trading hours. What else? Reverse strategy. We can test that, true or false, see what impact that has. Trade and setup, we can test. So we do unique trades or standard trades. We can test an optimization of both of those. Way to take profit, we'll do that, true or false. Okay. So we can play around with the grid. So 25 to 50, we'll test that. On an optimization, this is the start value. So this will test from 25 to 50, the start and the stop, with stepping by the amount you put in the step. Okay, so if we put that, for example, 25, 25, 75, it would test 25, 50, and 75. And then we'll leave it on 50. Smart distance, we can do true or false. Calculate levels for initial trade, true or false. Basically, I'm just doing a more or less random selection here, quite a rough optimization, and then you just click optimize. I'm not sure if it'll work with open prices, but we'll give it a go. And then you just run an optimization, and what this will do is combine all the various settings to see what the results would have been trading with those particular settings. It's just a good way to try and find bespoke settings. As I said, you can just use the default settings provided by the developer if you don't want to run an optimization. I sometimes run optimizations for days or even weeks on my VPS. I just let them run overnight on weekends to see if I can find favorable combinations of settings. It's worth mentioning though that you can run the risk of over optimization, which is basically when you curve fit the settings to fit a particular data set that you're working with. For some reason this optimization has not started yet. Let me just stop that. Just do a shorter time frame. We'll just do this year. We'll optimize then. It might be that the EA needs to use tick data prices only, but we'll see. Developer offers excellent support, by the way. They're very helpful, quick to respond, and they'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Detailed instructions are also included which explain all the settings and everything in detail. Could be especially beneficial for those of you who want to deep dive into the EA and really customize it. But as I said, it's not a necessity. So optimization, once you click optimization and you run that, what that would do is do all the various combinations of the settings that we selected. Okay, so show them what the results would be if you combine different variations of those settings. And this way you can find your own bespoke settings that you might want to use. And it can be a good way to test other trading instruments and timeframes to create something that matches your trading preferences if you don't want to use the defaults provided by the developer. Okay, that's going to take a while to run, but that's just really to give you an idea of how to optimize. Just be careful, you can end up, as I said, over optimizing or curve fitting, which is you can find good settings for the past year that may look fantastic. Okay, but that would only be for the data that you've tested them on. They might not necessarily be good settings prior to that data or moving forward. Of course, nothing is guaranteed moving forward. Bear that in mind as well. Even if backtests look amazing, as do real verified live results, nobody can guarantee what will happen moving forward in the future. So just bear that in mind. Demo test to begin with, and never risk more than you can afford to lose, of course. So when the optimization is finished, you can sort the results according to what matters most to you: profit, trades, profit factor, drawdown. And then when you double click the settings, those settings will be loaded in there. Okay, so you can save them to use at a later date and then load them when you need to use them, whether that's when you attach the EA to your chart or you're running another backtest and you want those particular settings. For the optimization, I had genetic algorithm checked. This is a setting that basically means the EA, the MT4 strategy tester, will optimize only what it deems would provide the best results. Okay, if you uncheck that, it will do every single combination of the parameters that you've selected, which can take an age. You can see how long the open prices only took with this particular EA. I can only imagine how long every tick testing with this unchecked would have taken. But you can use the out-of-box settings as well. Okay, you can filter as well optimization results by to only display those who meet these parameters. For example, let's just say you wanted a maximum drawdown of, you weren't too keen on the fact it used a martingale grid strategy, so you wanted a maximum drawdown of 30 and you selected that maximal drawdown 30. The EA, the strategy test would only display results that meet or have a maximal drawdown of less than 30 in that instance, or any other settings that you filter them by. So the results that are displayed in here would have to meet those filters, which can be good to remove junk results that don't meet your needs. And you can right click here, and I have skip useless results check just so that it doesn't show me any negative results here. It can just end up clogging up the results. Okay. So that's covered that. We've run a test on a couple of pairs. I've run the other pairs. They perform well over years of data. One thing I will point out that I really like about this EA as well is that it uses the same settings on multiple currency pairs. Okay, and for me, this shows that despite it being a grid or martingale type strategy, it still has logic and reasoning behind it. It's not just buying and selling randomly, hoping for the best. Okay. So that's a sign of a strong trading strategy, in my opinion. Default settings, multiple currency pairs, years of backtest results, and also verified accounts. I mean, it doesn't really get much better than that in terms of, ticking the boxes for a EA that might be suitable, depending again on your trading preferences. I mean, no EA can guarantee anything moving forward, but that's as close as we can get. Okay. You don't have to run all currency pairs. You can run 1, 2, 3, or all 6. The recommended pairs you can optimize on other pairs and timeframes to find something that works for you. Everybody's different. You can run this EA with the other EAs that they have available, and I have done videos for the other EAs as well. I think there's around 6 or 7 at the time of me doing this particular video. And you can use them all simultaneously if you like. You can run them all on separate accounts to compare results. Okay. But these are some of the most well-known and well-respected EAs that I have ever come across. As I said, highly rated in the MQL platform. as a top seller with top support, and you can just see from the like vast amount of settings here the amount of effort that has gone into the EA. Okay, it's definitely worth giving a try. Use the link in the description to get your free copy. Feel free to reach out to the developer of any questions you may have. If you've used the EA or you perhaps have a set file to share, feel free to drop a note in the comments below. If you've enjoyed the video and you found something useful, do like and subscribe for more. I do have videos as well on the MT4 strategy tester, how to run optimizations in more detail. So you might want to check them out as well. Okay, yeah, well, hopefully you found something useful in this video. I do appreciate you watching. Yeah, make sure you start on a demo account to begin with and take it from there. See how things go, and hopefully this EA can help you achieve your goals. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.